Hi guys, it's your girl Andrea and you're watching Be the Brand TV. You are in the place to be to learn how to live your value, love yourself enough to be yourself so that you can lead with intention and purpose. On today's show, I'm talking to you about parentpreneuring. Have you ever heard that term? I don't know if anybody else is using it, but I think I made it up so that we're going to go with it. How about that? All right, I've got 12 steps to help you with parentpreneuring using personal branding. So if you are struggling to get things done while you're at home with the kids or when you're doing it as a side hustle and you still have kids at home that have to be taken care of on a regular, obviously we take care of our kids on a regular basis. What am I talking about? Anyway, if you have a job and you're doing a business as a side hustle and you still have to balance the job, the business, and the family, this video is for you, so keep watching.
Welcome to Be the Brand TV.
All right, guys, I started my business or businesses a long time ago, and I'm going to do a video on my whole journey soon. It may be a podcast, but either way, just suffice it to say, I know exactly how it feels to be a parent trying to juggle, new kids, business, household things. And so I am very familiar with that struggle, and I wanted to do a video to share with you some of the tips that I came up with that helped me. Now, granted, these tips may not work for everybody because, people's lives are different. But for me, I think these are really general rules that you can follow if you want to parentpreneur or be a parentpreneur where you are juggling a business, maybe a job, family, and kids. So let's just dive right in. So the first thing I would suggest to you is to really understand your family dynamic. I remember early on, my husband would say to me, this is before kids, he was like, I need my caveman time. I need to be able to come home, go into a quiet space, and decompress. All right. Well, that's part of my family dynamic. That did not change when we started having children. So I had to recognize that when my husband came home from work, that was not the time to pounce on him and just like hand him the kids and be like, okay, I'm done for the day. I got to go do something else. I knew I had to give him his little caveman time. So the first step is to really understand your family dynamic. How do your children behave at certain times? What does your spouse need when they come home from work or when they when you think it's time for them to take over your tasks or whatever the case may be, what's going on and what is a good time for you to take a little bit of time for yourself to work on your business. Understand your family dynamics. Do you need to have dinner ready or do you need to have, your work done if you're a stay-at-home dad or if you're a work-from-home dad and you're in the office all day? What is your family dynamic? So that is the first step. Understanding that. You can write it down if you have to, like just kind of look at it, like observe your family like over a period of time to determine sort of what common things are happening, what times of the day they're happening. When are your kids most irritable? When are you most irritable? When is your spouse most irritable? When are you tired? When do you have the most amount of energy? Just really understand your dynamic. Next is you want to have a schedule that everyone understands. So now that you know your family dynamic and you understand what everyone else needs, now you can sort of plop your work time, your entrepreneur time in a space. So we need to make sure as entrepreneurs, parentpreneurs, that we have a schedule for our family and everybody in the house knows the schedule. And that's going to come in handy when you have your hour or 2 hours or however long you have to work when you come home in the afternoon or the time that you devote to running your business, because everyone understands the schedule and they know that at this period of time you are working. So you can do that. Everyone knows that that's what that time is for and you can be undisturbed. Okay, so then after you have set a schedule with your family, now comes those boundaries. Okay, so it's very important for you to understand your family's dynamics and to understand so that they understand and can manage their expectations of the schedule that you are going to create as a family. But then next, it's time to set some boundaries. All right. What does it mean when you go into your space to work? What does it mean for your kids? What does it mean for your husband or your wife? What does it mean for your phone in terms of like people calling you? What does it mean for visitors, things of that nature. What does that time mean? Set boundaries around it so that everyone understands what is expected of them during your time of working. All right, my next tip is to calendar blocking so that you can set boundaries around yourself and around your day. So for instance, I will link down below to Jordan Page's video on calendar blocking. I've watched a lot of calendar blocking videos, and I really find this one to be the best because it takes into account that you have a family and that those family things need to get done. And so we can't dedicate like full days to our business because sometimes children do get sick and you need doctor's appointments, or you do have to go to the grocery store and get things for dinner, or you have to fix dinner. So I love the way she does her calendar blocking because it accounts for all these things and it gives you a chance to really set yourself up for success. You know, I love circumstances for optimal success here on the show. So I really believe that her video gives us what we need to help us parentpreneur, not just be an entrepreneur and block off those times where we'll be doing business, but be a parentpreneur where we are not only blocking off those times, but also designating different times for our family dynamic to happen alongside of our business dynamic. All right, so the next step that I want us to look at is something that we don't like to talk about as parents. I don't mind talking about it because I believe in it, okay? So this is not an issue that I have, but I do recognize that some of you might have this issue with your children. But I do believe that there needs to be a punishment reward system that we put in place as parentpreneurs because we have we've met with our family, we understand the schedule of our family, we've created a schedule for us to work, and we've set boundaries. Now, what happens when one of the children does not respect the boundaries? I believe there needs to be some sort of punishment reward system because you have set up, you kind of understand your family dynamic, you work together as a family to create a schedule, and you set boundaries and let everyone know what those boundaries were. So when people start to step inside those boundaries and disrespect the time that you set aside to work, I personally believe that there needs to be some sort of punishment for that. And then also on the flip side, there can be rewards for when, especially when your children are smaller and they do require a lot more of your attention, it is a little bit harder for them to stay out of your boundaries and like leave you alone while you do work. So maybe instead of a ton of punishments for younger kids who really don't know any better, that's a good time to do rewarding when they stay away. Maybe they will respond better to you saying that something really good will happen if they stay out of your way while you're working on your entrepreneurial goals or whatever your tasks are for that day. All right, so the next step in our use of personal branding to parentpreneur is my favorite, and it is creating or designating a quiet zone for you. In my house, my family knows that if I go in my bedroom and I close my door, that's it. Like, I don't want to be disturbed. And a lot of times I will even tell my family that I'm going in my room. I'll be in the room for a little bit. I'll be out in a little bit. And if I say I'll be out in a little bit, that sort of translates into mom just needs a little time to decompress. But if I just say, hey, I'm gonna run in the room for a second, I'll be right back or whatever, that they can definitely knock on the door if they need something or whatever. But my bedroom and my bathroom are my havens. My books are there. When I need to escape, I'll go in my bathroom, honestly, and grab my Kindle, and I will just read in the peace and quiet of my bathroom with the door closed. So definitely designate a quiet space for yourself because inevitably as parentpreneurs, life gets crazy, the household gets crazy, you get overwhelmed, there's an imbalance that happens, there's guilt, especially if you're a mom, there's always guilt that happens. And so having a designated space for your quiet time, I think is key. Well, that does it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Before I let you go, though, don't forget that if you go to my IG channel, right, after screenshotting me, you could either screenshot me there or you can take the thumbnail of this video and share it over on your IG channel, being sure to tag me at AF Patrick right here, and I will choose one of you guys to be on the video. You can also leave a comment below. I want to hear from you in the comment section. I will post a question, but I want to know, how are you parentpreneuring? What are some of your tips for balancing life and family and business and job and whatever else you have going on in your life? So I will post that down in the comments below. I will also post down in the description the link to the Jordan Page video that I was talking to you about for calendar blocking. And also, sometimes it's just really, really difficult to balance. Well, my book, the BTB Business Journal, has a lot of tips for how you can network, how you can run your business from home while your kids are at home with you, all types of things that you can do from home when you have to balance life and business and profession until you can do something differently. So I will also post a link to my BTB Business Journal down below. It's a great book. I wrote it last year, and I think that you can really benefit from it, so make sure you grab that link below. Also, I don't want you to forget about my podcast, PB in Style. I'm sharing a ton of stuff over there, and we're talking about clarity, consistency, and authenticity, and how personal branding can help you with that. So that is a ton of stuff for you to remember. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell in case you want to be notified when new videos come out. I would love that. And make sure you share it with someone. Give this video a big thumbs up if you love it. And I will see you next week here on Be The Brand TV.